Welcome back everyone to another Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold. In the off time, I just adjusted a few things. I moved some troops around. I actually started taking troops out of my headquarters in the west because I have an abundance of riflemen and machine guns still, so these two. You'll notice that this headquarters actually moved up. It was here, or maybe it was here actually, and I built a road to the southwest, and the headquarters is just following right behind the engineer. At this rate, he's still within 3 of all the combat that I want to do. I moved artillery up, and I think, is this artillery going to move up? No, he does the bombardment here. Okay, so this is the turn I'm actually going to attack that hill. The reason being is I'm a little low on fuel, so I feel like it's now the time to stop doing the bombardment with my dive bombers. But I am going to do, let's say, one more. Let's see how effective this is. If it's really effective, I might do the other one as well. But I think this unit is really low on readiness and everything already. Yeah, they're down to 6. They still have a bit of entrenchment. But at the same time, we are killing a lot of forces. Let's see if there's anything really left for us. The only remaining infantry gun retreated, so it won't have a whole lot of readiness left. I mean, they have an effective combat strength of 2. That's probably enough, as in that's probably low enough that we don't need to use our other dive bomber. And it does take 600 each. We would like to start building up that oil stockpile. Another thing to mention, sometimes when you hit minus, it zooms out twice. I took the dive bombers out of Leverkusen and I moved them over to Huladao. So they can't do anything. They only have 30 action points left in this turn, but I think the next turn I'm going to start dive bombing the various forces which are coming within range of Huladao. So we're being a little more proactive, and we're really starting to shift things to the east. Okay, that being said, let's continue the fighting in the western front, southwest. Is this the turn I wanted? Let's see, I moved this guy up so he could bomb these guys, so that's what we'll do. And this is not, artillery is not going to be super effective here just because it's mostly armored cars. But we can lower their readiness quite a bit. The problem is I can't attack these guys without crossing a stream. I mean, literally, this hex is cut off from every side by a stream except for into Trier. So this does make it a little difficult. Uh-oh, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. So it's going to mean that armor, which would be the most effective against these armored cars, it's going to be hard to arrange for them to attack in a way where we're not going to be suffering a big penalty. As it is, I think it's 40% across the stream, it is. And maybe that's just worth it. Maybe the 40% is just worth it considering their readiness is pretty low. At the same time, there's an argument to be made that there's no use in rushing it quite yet. So what we know we want to do this turn is do a double bombardment of Trier, as always, just to keep the pressure on here. So we are killing units. This is good. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not sure they're... Oh, they actually are building trains in Trier. I don't think they'll ever get to use those. I'm sorry to say, my friends, that your trains are going to be totally useless. Normally they would build that, it would make sense, at a cutoff city because then they can supply, but there's no railroads running out of here that they control. They're all controlled by me. And to be honest, there's no way for them to really supply through this bottleneck anyways, this choke point. So all their forces should just be staying in Trier. I don't know what they would need to railroad out. But that's just an AI thing. Obviously they're just being a little stupid there. And this is possible... I don't know how much the AI repairs per turn. If it's 800, I actually will start to nibble away here. But if it's 900, which it might be, then they're going to get that all back. Okay, let's do our attack here. It shouldn't matter if I'm attacking from 3 sides or 5 or whatever, but I'll choose the less experienced unit, this one, and I'll also choose the less experienced here, so 41 versus 40. You can look at the individual experience, but I'm just looking at the overall. And you can tell it's a less experienced unit just because 140 is the combat value and the 25th has a combat value of 141, which is only due to experience. They're the same fighting composition. Okay, so this will give us a 30% bonus, which is good, and this unit is basically wrecked already. Which we wanted to have happen because this is a hill territory, so they will have a defensive bonus anyway. But as we can see, that they were just destroyed very quickly. And the good news is not many retreated, because the more that would retreat, they'd be pushing into Trier, which I don't want. So let's move this unit forward, and I think, actually, if potentially we attack this unit, I do want 2 infantry here, so I will keep that one there. Okay, and I think if we attack with any armor, we'll attack with this one, which means that this armor is free to move over here. In fact, we probably can shift the armor over in general, because Trier, let's see, they still have enough combat value that I should be probably a little leery of a breakout attempt on this machine gun unit. Which means it might be good for me to move whichever unit just attacked here, which will be slightly lower, the action points here, 40. He can still move here, so I can do a shift left. The reason why I would do this shift is because, if I'm not mistaken, the entrenchment of this unit is going to be much higher because it's suburban. And we can't get that entrenchment with this unit because the entrenchment is just lower in the fields. So they should be able to defend that city better. On top of that, although it's not good to do this, I do have artillery in this hex, so it can assist in the defense of the suburban area. Because if it's attacked, the artillery will fight in the rear. Combat stacks rear area true, which means that it'll contribute combat value without being threatened by the enemy. So that makes this unit, whatever unit stays here, slightly stronger. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll do a shift. We'll shift this one over. Not really sure where I should shift it over. I'm not even sure it's necessary looking at this again. But we do want to move this guy out. And we'll probably even do something like this. Move this armor up here so we can attack from 2 sides. But I do think I'm going to do a pretty heavily... What is it called? The word I'm looking for. It's not a very favorable attack, I guess you could say. Because, actually our readiness is pretty low because these guys took so many casualties last turn, so I might not do this at all, but I want to attack this guy from multiple sides, but if I move into the hills I can't attack, right? Oh, I can. So this guy can attack from here, this guy can attack from here, and this guy can attack from here. So we can't get 3-side surroundment. That's not bad. Maybe it's then worthwhile doing this. Yeah. One good reason for doing this will be to get to this oil, which is level 3. I didn't know that. I've never clicked on this one until then, but I could have just guessed that anyway, because the AI has a surprising knack for upgrading its things, even though I never see them using engineers. Okay, well, let's not think about it anymore. Let's just do it. So 3-sided attack. With 2 armor, that's going to be very helpful, especially because we're coming up against armored cars. Yeah, okay, well, let's do it. So it wasn't like a really lopsided attack. As long as you get the 3-to-1, I find that we were definitely over 3-to-1 on them. And the 3-to-1 is usually the magic number. That's when you can, expect your casualties to be less than theirs. And in this case, it was very lopsided, although I was concerned. And unfortunately, we're losing infantry. Actually, at this point, I would prefer to lose tanks because we're losing a lot of infantry in the east, and I actually can't supply them as fast as they're being lost. So, okay, I think we'll move this guy forward, and he can actually follow up attack, which is probably advisable. Let's do that. Let's follow up attack with anybody who can. Was it him? Yeah, he can. Let's do it. Usually they're very weak. Don't give them a chance to recover. So we just killed, well, these guys, yeah. And we forced these guys to retreat, which is expected. And we only lost that 1 machine gun. So the follow-up attack was very successful. I'm not going to move him forward. I could, but basically that would give us scouting information, which seems important. But then my unit will be a little bit exposed. And since it's armor, I don't really want to expose them because they are weaker on the defense. Okay. Next thing we gotta do is start moving into our blue headquarters. Which means, am I going to do an attack on this guy? Gosh, the readiness is really low. Okay, who can attack? You can. You can. Somebody here can. You can instead of the armor because you won't suffer. What do you suffer? Like 20%? 25% crossing a stream. It's a pretty tough decision, I have to say. We'll definitely win, but okay, let's do it. Then we can get all their units into one little hex, and I suppose that's preferable. Okay, let's do it. Now, which one do we want? This is 232. This guy can't do the attack, so it's just obviously going to be this guy. All right, let's do it. 60% bonus to the attack, which is not going to offset. We're still having a bit of an attack stack poundy, but okay, let's just do it. Let's see what happens. Well, massive casualties for them, lots of armored cars dead. The reason why they have so many armored cars pushing in right now is just because they have so many vehicle factories. Let's see, one airplane factory, which I guess they aren't using. Another one that they aren't using. 2, 3. They have 3 vehicle factories. Now that means that they're able to produce, I think, 24 armored cars per turn, if I have that guessed correctly. So 24 armored cars a turn can just appear. The same with their artillery. They can just create a ton of artillery per turn. That's why I'm saying that infantry are actually at this point more valuable than armored cars and artillery and stuff. I don't really know if that mechanic's good, you know? There's a limit on the number of factories you can build because you can only build a factory. Let's put it this way. 2 factories have to be separated by at least 2 hexes in the middle. So you have to build factories 3 away from each other. So you are map size limited to the number of factories you can do, but if you do a little bit of like packing efficiency, you can get a lot of factories. And then you just are able to build for free, like they're just free cities. I'm not sure if that's a good mechanic or not. It seems like something should be tied. Maybe Raj should cost more. I mean, AI doesn't seem to suffer from any of these problems. They just always max produce tanks and artillery the moment they have these factories up. Okay, so when seeing that there's some heavy artillery, some bad boys over here, I'm going to use my artillery, which has moved this turn, but still gets 7 attack rounds. I'm going to hopefully preempt their attack. What? Oh, artillery. I did attack. I wanted to do artillery. I'm going to preempt their attack on me, hopefully by an attack on them. And we didn't do much, just lowered the readiness. I was hoping to kill 1 or 2, but hey, if their readiness is lowered, they can't do any attacks themselves. So we can just pin them indefinitely. Now this unit also already moved from here to here. And he's only in range to do an attack on this guy. Now I was thinking of moving here. Unfortunately, that would cost another 35, which would put him at 40, and then he won't be able to do an attack. So I guess that's going to happen next turn. So for the time being, I'm just going to attack this guy because he's there and he's in range. It's just that simple. We'll give my artillery something to do. Basically just this unit is so disorganized, they won't be able to do anything. A readiness of 2. I mean, it's incredible. Which could be important because if I want to maneuver over here, I will be happy that this guy is pinned and not unable to move. I might leave this hex vacant at the end of this turn because I could attack in here and then move forward. This guy can move forward this way and attack this guy. I think when I attack here, this guy might even move up. I'm not sure if he'll cross the river or not. So, okay, well, let's do it. Let's do the attack here. Can he even... Oh, this is marsh, so he definitely cannot attack because he's armor. Let's do our attack here. We'll kill whatever staff is left. Wow, excellent. So they lost 2 headquarter units. That's actually really important. We will move in there. And here is their first headquarters again. All right. So this guy is not going to be able to do anything with his low readiness. I doubt he'll have the action points to move across a stream into enemy territory, also including the fact that it would be moving through my zone of control. So it's like the worst case scenario. So what I think I'll do here is move forward. Hopefully, if I cut these guys off, they will be just completely destroyed in the event of an attack. And that's going to be my goal. I think what I'll do is attack with 2 here. Move this guy here. And then next turn, we'll do this attack. They won't be able to retreat into the swamp. Or if they do, they'll be just in a very bad shape. So I'm going to do an attack against this unit, even though I don't know what's there. There's definitely some units, but wow, we didn't take any permanent casualties, just had some units lose some organization, some readiness. And we did massive casualties. It looks like 35 total units, which includes an infantry gun. Move forward or not? Yeah, I guess I will. Because when this guy moves here, there's no reason for him to attack. So let's do this attack from these two. Yeah. Good. Another 21 units dead. So this guy definitely moves in. I created this bridge this turn just so I can keep the supply going. So there should be absolutely no supply problems. This one was a known factor. We would have supply problems there. I didn't know that this guy's out of the loop. But that's okay. We're going to move him into this territory, which he'll probably also be. Too bad I don't have an engineer over here. So it's obvious that this tank no longer has any purpose over here. In fact, I probably am going to move. I'm going to start shifting some of my blue headquarters. What are these guys? The Western HQ? Yeah. So the Western HQ are going to start sending some of their armor over to this vulnerable open front with the Chinese. Since things are kind of calming down, maybe I'll send even one to the north over here. Which, by the way, I guess our actions for this turn are just to do absolutely nothing, because we need to replenish as much as we can, which just means to build up our entrenchment again. And they have insane armored cars. Oh my gosh. That's not good. I don't know if we'll hold. In fact, yeah, I think in a desperation move, we're going to move this unit here. Try to strengthen this border, because it is so weak right now. Yeah, I think that's the best move that I can do. Okay, well, enough there. That's the entire north, right? Just move up and try to strengthen our lines a little bit. Okay, so we have artillery, which is going to do some bombardment. I guess one for each. And the heavier bombarding one will be this one. It would be nice to kill any armored cars. Oh, 2. Okay, well, I'll take it. Now let's move this guy in, and he will bombard this guy, which is pretty unnecessary. That unit is just going to be wiped out. Still, like I said, any casualties in infantry that we can avoid, and these units are both infantry, so any casualties that we can avoid on these units is greatly appreciated, because our Eastern Front desperately needs infantry right now. So the less infantry we have to send east, the more we can send west. Let's do the double attack. Should be just total destruction and no casualties, which is good. Now the thing to note is these guys are out of supply, so what I think I'll do is move this unit forward. And this guy's just going to start pulling back. I think they're supplied here, right? Yeah. So he's only had his one minor turn out of supply. Yeah, so let's move him back in. So we can start really shifting the blue headquarters to different parts. Ultimately, as soon as I take Trier, I think red will just take up this entire front, and blue's entire army will just pull back to the east. Which would definitely symbolize the end of this Let's Play, because at that point I would be overwhelmingly in charge of the situation. Just the clear victor. And Trier is really being closed down upon. Okay, so what else do I want to do? I probably want to move this unit in. Yeah, because we didn't decide where to move units. I think that's a good idea. I'm not worried about the headquarters and engineer. They can, believe it or not, hold their own, because this guy has tanks and riflemen, submachine guns. So I'm not worried about that. We want to actually move this armor down, because There's no point in attacking across a stream if you don't have to. So we'll probably want to put 2 units into this one. This is actually the point where having this guard move up is probably not a bad idea, because we will want to attack with a guard into the city. So we'll just do that. And then this third guard will ultimately be the unit which holds Trier. We can always just leapfrog the last city guard unit into the most heavily contested city. And then ultimately, just as I've been saying with all the other blue units, these guys will all be shifted over to the eastern front. Okay, so that being said, what is next here? This infantry has a lot of attack options. I think I'll leave this guy in this territory here. I don't think there's any point to attacking him, having him attack anything. This is across the stream, yeah. If you look very closely, you can see a little bridge and the stream path. So I think the bridge means you don't actually suffer the cross river or cross stream penalty, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So let's just move this guy here, and we can attack this unit, which is low readiness. Or maybe even, can we attack this? No, okay. This is definitely what I want to attack next turn. But let's do an attack here just to push these guys out. Good. Alright, so we almost, shoot. It's a little bit risky. What's this guy? Oh, he only has 1.1 supply left. Is he still gets supply there. Hopefully he gets all his supply next turn. I was thinking it would even be nice to push forward and see if I could take Brandenburg, just sneak it in on the Germans. This is so interesting. I would really, really, really like to do that. Oh, I forgot that these guys are going to be dive-bombed. And since I forgot to dive bomb the other one, I might as well just send both dive bombers into this. Not that can anybody attack you? One, oh, well, maybe, okay, I think it is worth it. Let's do the other dive bomb. Oh, we don't have enough fuel. Okay, so this is it. The last of our fuel supply. Seems really unnecessary. I think I can just attack in. This is low mountains. They don't have much. Their armor car readiness is really low. Can this guy even move over here? That would have been really nice. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I attack them this turn, they'll still be in position to be attacked next turn. Let's also take a consideration for supply here. This is 93, so if we attack in, we can't move there because we'll be out of supply. It might be better to wait one turn to attack from 2 sides, and then when they move in here, whatever unit we didn't attack with will be able to attack in. And then this guy will be doing the final, that'll push the unit from here to here, and if anyone survives, back to here. And the final attack will be coming from these 2 guys to, well, I mean, technically they'll be able to retreat into the marsh if they want, but... Okay, and that's not a bad amount of armor cars here. I'm assuming that they'll be in supply too. Although they aren't getting supply... I suppose they don't have any ships, so they don't have any means of supplying these guys. So they are cut off, so we can just leave them to kind of rot, push these guys over, and then leave these guys out of supply for as long as they want before they surrender. I mean, the thing is, I can't capture Brandenburg on this turn, but unless I move forward, I don't think I can capture it on next turn. Because I think it costs 50 to move here, and it'll cost more than 50 to attack across a stream. Oh boy. However, I do risk getting cut off if we... So we don't have enough units, although red could probably come in and save the day. Yeah, so armor could next turn move 1, 2. Probably even 1, 2, 3, which would give blue a supply route to Brandenburg. Okay, well, it's crazy. It's really crazy. And let's do it. Wow, that heavy artillery will probably bombard us. It's pretty powerful. So here's our engineers. Yeah, it's going to be a little difficult to take that on the next turn. Across the stream, I doubt it'll happen. So we did expose ourselves a little bit, but I'm not too concerned, actually. If a unit does come here to cut me off, I'll be able to attack them with no across-stream penalties. So that's kind of good. It's almost like I planned that, like I set a trap. Although it was purely incidental. Okay, so that does conclude everything I wanted to do for this turn. I have, like I said, already adjusted the production, and I've pushed all the units that I could, so we're down to 0 rail capacity, out of my Supreme headquarters. So let's go ahead and watch the fireworks as we clash once again over on the Chinese front. I'm pretty sure that I'm not sure our line will be able to hold forever. I'm expecting to lose this hex, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of happens. Like these guys, I don't know what they're doing. One question, should I try to change the headquarters for these units? 1, 2, 3, now 80, 60, 40. So they'll be at 40%. But they'll have lower readiness, so I'm not going to do it. Actually, what I'll do is I'll do one. We'll kind of see if it's worth it just by switching one of them. And we'll see what kind of impact that has. In fact, it didn't lower their readiness. That's awesome. Okay, but next turn. There's a land attack. Okay, so they did attack that Jeep, but they didn't move in. So this should still be in striking distance of our... Oh, another attack. They're pushing down. They're going to cut off my supply line soon. I got to be very careful with that. In fact, maybe this armor has to react that way. Okay, another attack. They did attack where I thought they would, but we held. I feel like an auction or a horse race announcer. So many things to cover. Now, they did attack me here and push me back. Well, wow, they really did some damage too. And they're bombarding. I didn't see what the damage was. I see attack strength of 12. That's not good. Okay, more bombardment. We lost a rifleman, it looked like. Oh, okay, they finally took me out of the raw, but we held in the second. Okay, we held firm again. This is incredible. How many units were lost? Okay, well, it's a little more fair this time. Looks like they're killing more of my horses. Bastards. What do they have against horses? But they lost a lot more than they killed, that's for sure. Okay, so more people are leveling up. We had 343 at the end of the last turn, that's nice. So we're up to 81, 83. So what went on here? These guys were pretty well resupplied though. Okay, well, let's just take a brief look at the front as it is. Now this is not good. Lots of losses over here. Is it time to just finally pull back? Is it time to just wave the white flag? I don't know. I mean, I've been trying so hard to avoid losing this area that I feel like... Well, I mean, I feel like I should just stay and fight to the end, but maybe there's something to be said about a tactical withdrawal. Alright, now they've pushed up over here. I think this will be a good... So did these guys lose? Yeah, they don't lose anything. Can I switch the headquarters of this guy? Like, just... Yeah, it doesn't cost anything. That's nice. It's good to know. So for some reason, interceptors or dive bombers, I guess they're immune to the readiness penalty that units normally get when they switch headquarters. And now they have 40% proximity, which was 0 before. Alright. Well, I'm definitely going to call this episode to a close now before I continue on, because we're right at the 30-minute mark. But let's just go ahead and look at the battles real fast. So they did attack and they killed my jeeps, so my 2 riflemen remain. That's fine. No surprise, basically. Sadly, they didn't move up, but maybe that's okay. Yeah, maybe that's okay because they did push up with these forces, so I'm not sure where this armor needs to go in the end. Next battle, they attacked here. Well, there wasn't much left of that armor unit to begin with, but whatever was left held. Then they attacked here, and we also held firm. They'd lost a lot, so they lost some trucks, all kinds of stuff. Okay, they attacked here, which is not where I was expecting them to attack here. Remember, I thought I was forcing the issue there. And we did take some pretty serious losses, but they did too. I would consider this more or less a draw. It's about even. Because although they lost 57, and they did lose 3 armored cars, but I don't even know whether that matters considering the number of factories the AI has at this point. We lost 18 machine guns. It's pretty significant. Then they attacked here. We also held, and this was a very serious hold. That we needed this one. I'm surprised. I mean, we didn't need this one. I was expecting this unit to be pushed back, but in fact, we only lost 8 units and we killed another 50 infantry. And that infantry and the trucks, those are the things that they can't replace as easily. So these are the things I actually want to see. Okay, now this was a really silly attack. They crossed a stream to attack from just one area. I mean, I assumed that this unit was really, really well defended. So I wasn't worried about it at all. And true enough, they did an attack that failed miserably. Now, this is the attack. I don't know why this went so poorly. Oh, well, probably because there were 16 armored cars. That's just ridiculous. Come on, that's a little ridiculous. Okay, then they did some bombardment and we lost just a rifleman. That's fine. They did bombardment again and we lost another rifleman. I'm okay with that. And this was the big one. This is where we lost a lot of troops too. Now they took some commiserate casualties, I guess, but they got the territory. They got the low mountains. It's going to be really hard to retake that. And I don't know if this second attack... Wow, dude, they totally raped us in the second attack. I'm surprised. So this is the one that was worse. Even though they were only attacking from one area. And we already had like maybe a attack stack. Was that what this was about? I don't know. And then they attacked again, and this one was less successful, but... Huh. And then the end. Okay, well, we got our work cut out for us on the Eastern Front and the North. There's just 2 areas where we're really weak at. This will be a lot of fun, I think, playing with the open space available. We'll have to do some, really calculated moves to try to minimize the holes. For example, we need to protect our supply line, obviously. So... Well, that being said, I'm going to call this episode to a close, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.